Hello and welcome. You're watching Cricbuzz Live. Good evening, good night, good afternoon, good morning, depending on which part of the world you're in. As you know, Cricbuzz is streaming worldwide, so we know you're joining us from different parts of the world. We are looking very, very fresh right now because for us it is just about noon. That's right, we are in the West Indies. As you can see, there's the beach behind me. I'm Gaurav Kapur, with me Harsha Bhogle and Parthiv Patel. Their cocktails will be coming soon. They have little umbrellas in them, just to prove that we are in the Caribbean. Do you think that's enough, or we'll have to do a little more?
Little more.
Little more?
I have no idea what to say after you introduce.
You have to agree, na, sir. Team,
Yes.
we are a team, sir. You have to say yes.
Yes.
We are. It's beautiful in Saint Kitts.
It's
We have
gorgeous.
everything in Saint Kitts except cricket kits.
That is what you were leading to. In the
I wasn't. It came right now. Everything is like I play T20 cricket, sir. But Parthiv, ऐसा हुआ है कभी आपके साथ no kids in Saint Kitts?
नहीं नहीं मेरे पास नहीं मैंने तो सुना नहीं है ऐसा अभी जब हर्षा भाई ने he only described कि एक बार हुआ था but the kids were coming by road but I don't think I have ever experienced something like
I
that.
remember that game because the kids were coming from Kolkata to Jamshedpur.
Yeah.
The runway at Jamshedpur could only take these small planes. It was a Tata outpost. Only
Yeah.
take these, and little Fokker planes couldn't take all these. All
So
the
please
kids.
stop using words like that.
And so they sent them by road.
Yeah.
The two managers had to find a truck driver,
Yeah.
put everything on the truck, and then they had to. One of the journalists wrote a little thing saying these are not excisable, so no, don't stop them for excise and octroi.
Yeah.
And the game couldn't start, and then an hour later, 2 hours later, game couldn't start, and then they said because at some border they had been stopped. And the game started 4 hours late.
This is 84?
84.
1984.
Game started 4 hours late.
Yeah.
And after five overs, it rained.
I hope that doesn't happen today. It is a 20-over game.
It's a bright 30 degrees apparently.
Yeah,
today.
it's a 20-over game. And coincidentally, that's the same reason why it got delayed, because they tried to send the kit in a truck. But they're islands, so there was a problem. And then they found a plane or a boat or something. But now the thing is that I think the kits have reached. Now people are
Apparently
saying in between this youths people. But at least in recent history, I've not heard of anything like this happening, which is why everyone has found it so amusing. I don't know if the players will find it amusing because the start has been delayed by 3 hours. And I think we'll ask Parthiv that. Parthiv, a game being delayed because it's anyway happening very early in the morning. We know that the entire generation right now of players are very used to a different time zone because you only play cricket at night. Now suddenly you're there, you have to play a game at 10:30 in the morning, you wake up early, you're anyway a little cranky, short on sleep, and then it keeps getting delayed like this.
But I think the good news is that everyone knew that at least it is 2 hours late.
Yeah.
So you get that message on your WhatsApp group that the game is delayed by 2 hours. So some of them might have woken up and gone off to sleep again.
You think they would have gone back to sleep? Like I did?
Yeah,
Like the
all
two
us
of you came.
I came and we went back.
Yeah. But sir, ye thoda sa, I mean, you've been around games which have had delays like this. Is it that one delay can be more frustrating than the other, or just all of them are?
especially the rain delays can be frustrating.
Yeah.
When you think ki ab shuru hoga, then there's that irritating drizzle.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone minds downpours because nothing you can do. But when that irritating drizzle doesn't go, at least now it's better because the grounds drain very quickly.
Yeah.
I've been at a game at a test match where it rained, poured one evening, and it didn't get play for 2 days after that in bright sunshine.
Yeah.
Because the grounds didn't drain and
Yeah.
you didn't have super soppers or clayey soil.
Yeah.
You just held on to the water and we all looked around for 2 days and went back.
And you were at the ground for those 2 days?
For 2 days
You just
at
had
the
to keep
ground.
waiting?
Yes.
That's frustrating. In the West Indies as well, I remember I was doing this series last time, Parthiv. I had, there was, I think, in Guyana.
In Guyana, they assume that you'll only get play for 3 days, but 2 days it rains anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It was a one day which just kept getting delayed. I remember I was on air for 4 hours. We couldn't even do the show anymore because obviously we had our setup outside. So just doing the show from the combox for 4 hours, and the person on the right chair kept changing. Sunil Gavaskar, Jay Jadeja, Ashish Nehra. I felt like a doctor after every half an hour I'd say, next. All right, but today, let's get to today's game because just what the doctor ordered, a 20-over game, a full game is happening. थोड़ा लेट जाएगा आज, पर कोई बात नहीं, आप भी लेट के देखो गेम, क्या प्रॉब्लम है, आराम से देखो. वेस्ट इंडीज हैव won the toss.
उसमें कॉफी कितनी है?
है थोड़ी सी.
नहीं, क्योंकि आपने किट और किट, लेट और लेट, so you're...
आ रहा है कुछ, हो रहा है ना? Something's happening. It's all happening. It's happening. All right, so the toss has happened. West Indies has won the toss, same to same. They've decided to bowl, same to same. Is the pitch going to be same to same? No, it is different. it is different. Because last time, I think we did, Parthiv, roundly all of us did what we call Kadi Ninda about the decision. There was Kadi Ninda. But they're saying that the conditions are different here. They're definitely not getting that same Turner slow pitch.
Absolutely. I think that we'll come to know by what India's playing in what 11 India is playing. I think no one wants to see that kind of wicket on a T20 game. But hopefully, wicket is better and hopefully we get some kind of contest between India and West Indies.
They've left out Kimo Paul. I wonder if they've left out Kimo Paul for a spinner, which would give you an idea. Because this is among the lowest scoring grounds in the West Indies. They played all the CPL here, but it's among the lowest scoring grounds. I hope it's not a 130, 140 kind of ground, because that's not fun.
Yeah, it wasn't really. The last game definitely wasn't. I mean, the first half was fun when India was batting, because Rohit Sharma, Dinesh Karthik were really good. But the two changes, the two people who've come in, there's O'Shane Thomas has come in.
But then fast bowlers come in.
Devon Thomas.
Devon Thomas.
Devon Thomas has come in, not O'Shane. Sorry, uska chota bhai. Uska bhai. And Brendan King. So those are the two people who've come in. So they've made two changes. And with India, obviously, you were really not expecting three spinners to come in. But talking about spinners, so just a second, you wouldn't mind playing three, even four, even five, because I'm not saying they're playing five spinners. You wouldn't mind playing five because West Indies just does not have the spinner's phone number,
especially on this kind of wicket. I don't think they're most of them are through the line kind of players. They don't use their feet as much, so they need that flat wicket to just use their power. And you can see that against spin and wrist spin, again they do struggle quite a bit. You can see that on your screen. But I think West Indies would need a proper flat wicket where they can exploit the spinners. But wrist spin has always been their problem. To pick that googly, that's something which they've struggled. So everyone, I think we've seen how Kieron Pollard played whether it's 16th over or a 17th over. As soon as a wrist spinner comes in, he would just block, try and just save stumps and pad. Everything just play for googly, and just might get beaten with the outside edge.
They can't do it. Spin is really tough for them.
I don't think they play a lot of wrist spin early on, so I don't know whether they read it from the hand. And if you're playing against a good wrist spinner, if you're trying to get the wrist spinner off the track, you're anyway going to be late. So I think that is where they struggle, especially, Kieron Pollard would just swing. If it connected, it was six.
Or shut the shop. Or just completely, or park the bus, as they call it in football, right? Just completely just shut shop. There's the one thing you say about you were talking about this as well, right? About their dance. They basically can find rhythm all the time, except if it's against a wrist spinner. They can't find any rhythm against a wrist spinner.
The left-handers, though, now that they've got so many left-handers, Pooran and Hetmeyer and Mayers, they could maybe, they'll just play the Hoiko mid-wicket against the leg spinner.
Let's have a look at the West Indies 11 and see what they've done. They, of course, have lost the first game, as you know, in this 5-game series. So they've got Brandon King. They've got Kyle Mayers, of course, is still there. Roman Powell, Nicholas Pooran, Shemron Hetmeyer, Devon Thomas, Jason Holder, Akil Hussain, who was definitely the star performer out of the bowlers for the West Indies in the last game, with the conditions helping him as well. Odean Smith, Obed McCoy, and Alzari Joseph. Harsha, you were mentioning this last time. I mean, there's the pace of sorry, you were.
No, I'm trying to think who the 6th, 7th bowler is. Who's the backup bowler in that
because
side?
Devon Thomas is also a wicket-keeper, so
I don't know who the backup bowler in that team is.
Kyle
Mayers will bowl a little bit of medium pace. Because I think India have also gone in with the extra pacer, so maybe they think there's something in that track. Because I think there might be a bowler. See, Kimo Paul used to contribute 2-3 overs there, so maybe.
But he's also, Kimo Paul was barely, you've heard about him being an all-rounder, but he came to bat at number 10 in the last game.
He used to take pace off.
Yes.
Predominantly when he played at Delhi, he used to take pace off.
But that's the two changes that they made there. 11, what do you think? This whole 6 batters, 5 bowlers is a little nerve-wracking, no?
I think it's because of they have batted in the first game. I think it was a big loss for them. I think batting, which was a failure for them, so that is the reason why they probably wanted to strengthen their batting and get this main batters into it. They have some bowler who can bowl 2 overs, a batsman who can bat a bit. They had to get out of that strategy, and they got specialist 2 batsmen, Brendan King and Devon Thomas in that.
And see, they bat down to 9. If Odean Smith is in fact going to bat at 9, then
he'd probably bat over Akil, though, you'd think.
But they like the left-hander coming in between over there to
Fair
hit.
enough.
They keep pushing Akil Hussain up. But the thing with the West Indies is you look at this side and say, is this side a close relation to what they will play in in Australia for the World Cup? I don't know, because surely Evan Lewis has got to play somewhere.
Yeah.
But Mayers and King have done so well. I was surprised Brandon King didn't play the earlier game.
Yeah.
At some point, Andre Russell's going to come in, so it might turn out to be a straight swap with Odin Smith.
Yeah.
Romario Shepherd, Odin Smith, Shane Thomas.
Yeah.
So that might,
Mildly confusing. All right, let's have a look at the Indian team, because I think you've...
my app, I keep following
Cricbuzz app. It's not...
Fastest always.
It's not Instagram, it's not Twitter. There's the one change, of course. There's no Ravi Bishnoi, and Avesh Khan comes in. Are you, Parthiv, a little surprised? Did you think that Harshal was going to play?
I thought Harsha would play, but then it becomes like a proper, the same kind of bowlers who can take the pace off. They needed a bit of a pace, someone who can hit the deck kind of a thing. And Harshal has been, bowling in the death, and he was all bowling off spins and cutters, whatever we call it. But then, Avesh Khan is someone who can hit the deck hard. So that they must be expecting a bit of pace out of the wicket. So I'm not surprised. And India has backed Avesh Khan, right? They played him in last series full games. So it is fair that they give him more chance and try and see what he can do under different conditions.
We're noticing that obviously there's a lot of talk. I mean, the Asia Cup team will be announced as soon as this 5-game series is over. And the Asia Cup team, while no one's confirming it, it seems like that could be kind of the 90% blueprint of the World Cup team. That will go a month after that, right?
It could be, though I think after the Asia Cup is when you have to pick the team for the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
So I would imagine those 6 T20 games that India played, 3 against Australia, 3 against South Africa, would be the team that goes to Australia.
Okay.
So they'll probably use the Asia Cup to get an idea about a couple of key players.
Okay.
And to see if they're getting back into form. I mean, it sounds very weird to say that Virat Kohli is auditioning.
Yeah.
How do you form the word and get it out of your lips?
Yeah.
But it might well be that.
Yeah.
They might well see whether Kohli is looking comfortable, whether he's hitting the ball well. I think with Virat Kohli, you're not actually looking to see how many runs he scored, whether he's comfortable, he's hitting the ball well, because then the runs will come.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing that's left.
Yeah, here's the thing. I mean, we build it up a lot, and we mentioned this in the last series as well, Parthiv, that India did play a World Cup and win a World Cup in 2007 without all the big guns at the time.
Yes.
They, at that time, didn't play for a different reason. But I know at this point in time, emotions get very heightened around our heroes. And there is, everybody gets very heightened at the idea of, Virat Kohli would not play a World Cup or something. But it is a game and it is a tournament. Yes, it is a World Cup. But I don't think it's going to be end of the world for the team, for the fans, for the player. Is just too much being made out of this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially because there are so many World Cups being played. There is almost World Cup every year. So that is the reason.
And in that World Cup, just to add, at a 50-over World Cup, you'd probably write his name first after the captain.
Without a doubt. There is no doubt about that. And there is no doubt about Virat Kohli's ability. It's just about the form. It's just about, which position you want him to play. I think that is the reason why Asia Cup becomes very crucial. Not for him, just for India's point of view also, whether they get the right combination or not. I keep saying about the combination because I think that would be the key. Whether you might just see Virat Kohli open in Asia Cup because if you see KL Rahul's not fit as of now, he said he'll be available from Asia Cup.
Yeah.
And India has tried a lot of other openers. They've tried Ishan Kishan, they've tried Rishabh Pant, they've tried Surya Kumar Yadav in this series. So you never know. And Virat Kohli has been very comfortable opening for RCB. He's got all his big seasons as a batsman has come as an opener. So and so you might just see Virat Kohli opening.
It's a good point because earlier it was you would never want Virat and Rohit to bat on top because there was so much reliance on the 1, 2, 3 and what if you lose the two of them early and then you've got a problem and what will happen. But now the middle order is actually giving so much. We've got a really long, fit and tight spine.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Because we mentioned it last time. It's amazing how many games are won by 5, 6 and 7. And the name numbers that you're seeing there, Pandya, Jadeja, Karthik are 5, 6, 7. I think my gut feel is Surya's natural position is 4.
Yep. Yeah.
So if he's playing 4, you got 4, 5, 6, 7 there who play a very, very modern brand of cricket. So the job of 1, 2, 3 is to get off to a start but not leave too little for 4, 5, 6, 7. Sometimes you can be caught up in building an innings, which is it happens sometimes with KL Rahul, happens sometimes with Virat Kohli, and then you leave too little for 4, 5, 6, 7, who are your fourth, fifth gear batsman.
Yeah, there's also there'll be people who are watching and saying, "Oh, where does then Rishabh Pant go?" Right?
Correct.
And it feels a little strange because just about 10 days ago he's played an innings which is one for the ages. But when you look at T20 cricket, Parthiv, he's not got a 50 in. I don't know. I think ever since I was in school or something.
No.
I think I was in.
When you were in school, Rishabh Pant was an idea.
Yeah.
That's right. There's a twinkle in his parents' eyes.
The kind of game he plays, he plays that very, very high risk game. He tries to, whenever he comes to T20 format, he plays it differently. In one-day cricket, he has that time. Sometimes, he takes off his time. In Test cricket, he bats really well. But to me, I think, this could well be a very good combination where you see Rohit and Virat open, and you might just send Rishabh Pant, the lefty, at number 3, Surya at 4, and then 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, that leaves KL Rahul.
KL Rahul. I mean, for Asia Cup, just in case, because is it too early for KL Rahul to get into Asia Cup without no cricket after IPL? So those 6 games will be crucial for him also. So there is always, when they are saying that we have plenty of players, but in all these players, we have to find that right proper combination, and the players who are playing with the right tempo, that is also crucial as far as India is concerned. You cannot play any more than 160 game.
Yeah, I mean, India's shown that they're not playing that game, right? India's shown the intent, and we keep talking about the word intent, but India's shown the intent to play a different style of T20 cricket because the old one didn't work, didn't win much. At least when it comes to the big tournaments. So they're playing this. And in this setup, as we are seeing right now, as you mentioned, the 4-5-6-7 is an enviable, solid 4-5-6-7. So you have to then say, all right, now I'm going to, I've got, obviously one is fit because that's my captain. So essentially you have to find his opening partner and you have to find a 3.
If you want to play this brand of cricket, then I think you want a Dinesh Karthik at 6. If you want to play this brand of cricket. But if you want to play Dinesh Karthik at 6, you can only play either Virat Kohli or Rishabh Pant or KL Rahul. You can only play 2 out of those 3. It's strange.
Wow.
I mean, we're still a long way away, so lots can happen between now and then. But if you see that graphic again, the big difference is middle overs. If you look at when India was going slow in the T20 World Cup, what about 10, 11 months ago, against spin, they were really slow. That is a 1.5 run difference. That's about 10 runs, 10, 15 runs difference there in the middle overs itself. In the death, you can understand if your side is doing well, 10.8, 11.2 is not a huge difference because you're talking about 3-4 runs extra.
But it's a middle. It's a choking period.
Yeah, middle. It's something we always talk about either top or death. But most of the T20 games are win or lost in the middle overs.
Yeah,
and that's where you either you keep the momentum or you lose wickets. If you have kept the momentums, whatever you have done in power play, and then if you keep playing with not say 10 runs per over, but 8.5 or something like that, then it gives a lot of strength to the death players or finishers which we talk about. But I think middle overs are key, and every IPL team or whoever has done really well, they've played middle overs really well. Maybe one boundary here and there, and then keeping about 8.5.
Sir, वो glory वाला होता है ना कि power play में glory है, death में glory है, but they forget that the hard labor is actually done, the setup is done in the middle.
Building तो वही बनाते हैं ना.
बिल्कुल वही है.
And then we talk about, if you look at it from a bowling's point of view, we always look for bowlers who takes wicket in the middle over. So, if I'm a captain, I want bowlers who can take wickets in the middle. So, it just, gives you the right ratio that if you can't score runs and if you can take wickets in middle overs, then there are chances that you will win. So, it's vice versa as a batsman. You need to score runs in middle overs so that you can get a big score.
I think the flip side of that is when you see 4, 5, 6, 7 doing so well, it should actually take the pressure off 1, 2, 3 and maybe liberate them even more. That's the ideal word.
If you want Karthik 6, Jadeja 7, that is as much a message to Karthik and Jadeja as it is to 1, 2, 3. Saying we are playing these 2, that means we are asking you to go up front because even if you lose 3 wickets in the first 7, 8 overs, we've still got 3 batsmen to come after that. So please feel free to go. I think one guy can play 125. But not for too long. If you're playing 120 and you're playing 50 balls, you've lost the game for your side.
True.
So you can't, one guy is allowed to play 120, 125, but not for too long to ensure that you're not 3 or 4 down. That's all.
And especially with what Suryakumar Yadav and Hardik Pandya can give you.
Yeah.
So they are the batsmen who can play in both gears. You know, if he lost 20 for 3, you got Surya and Hardik Pandya both. You know, they can play for 3-4 overs, take singles, and then try and play the attacking game. I think the emergence and maturity with Hardik Pandya has shown. I think that gives a bit of leverage to openers that they can go really hard.
We should give some credit to Ashish Nehra also, no, for that.
Yeah, Ashish Nehra.
Just because he's your friend.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I've answered your question as yes.
There is no
You expected me to say no, na?
Nepotism on Cricbuzz.
I was just saying.
It's a free, frank, fearless platform.
Yeah, of course. So, but it's also another F also, no, friends?
The fact that he batted at 4 has made him a different player.
Another F, 4. And 4 is a problematic word in Indian cricket.
We will not talk about 4.
Say 4.
Okay, we won't talk about 4 for another 8 or 9 months. As the next World Cup comes, we'll start talking about 4 again.
We'll have to, because everybody will be talking about 4, because you won't know who 4 is again.
KL Rahul.
Yeah. Ooh, interesting.
आगे.
No, I like. Note karo. दीवार पे लिख दो.
Because if you think Shikhar Dhawan won't play, just tell Shikhar you may not play, he'll hit you 300s.
Yeah, but Shikhar will definitely play next. I mean, I like how we started talking about the 23 World Cup also, but why not? बोर हो जाते ना, एक ही World Cup की बात करते तो दो की करो, हर साल एक हो रहा है. But let's talk about the 2016 World Cup now. अरे ठीक है, past में जा रहे हो क्यों? We're talking about the West Indies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there was the famous, of course, remember the name. And after that, you've forgotten the names of all their captains because they've had so many captains in T20
remember
cricket.
Carlos Brathwaite either.
Carlos, yeah, this is really, I really
You
enjoyed
remember Carlos
watching him play.
Brathwaite because of Ian Bishop.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. You're right. Sir, you're only saying it because he's your friend? It's true. There's some calls, and you know that if it's the end of a World Cup and there's an Ian on commentary, you know it's going to be memorable, right?
Yes.
Ian Smith, Ian Bishop.
No wonder my parents should have called me Ian Bhogle. मेरा भी number लग जाता कहीं.
Chalo, we'll call you Ian now.
चलो.
From now, we'll call you Ian. Okay. So, we'll talk about, of course, these West Indies captains. We'll just pull that graphic up again and see how many captains they've had. This is just, Parthiv, this is my issue, yeah, that it's a team of such exciting individuals. It's a region, because a lot of them are not playing in this team. It's a region of such exciting individuals. Yet they have, for the last 6 years, just constantly been unsettled.
Yeah, that's because they need a stronger captain. They need a stronger personality who can, get all of this together, because they all come from a different culture. Like
Different countries, you're right.
Different countries, different culture. Everyone thinks differently. So they need someone who can, hold all of them together.
Maybe that's why they got Polly in as Kyron Pollard.
Yeah, Kyron Pollard. Someone who can be, he's higher than anyone else in the dressing room, where he's respected.
Fair enough, but isn't he also quite a gentle giant?
No, he's a very good captain, though. He's got a great mind. I've played with him in Mumbai Indians, where whenever Rohit was injured, he was captaining the side. He was vice captain of the side for a while. So
he commands that respect.
He commands that respect in that dressing room, and he also has that size also. No matters.
Yeah, but let's talk about Pooran here, because Pooran again seems, I don't know, what have your impressions been? He's captained a fair bit.
He'll lead the side in Australia now.
Yeah.
Because I think they've realized Jason Holder's not guaranteed his place, and they've moved on from Jason Holder. Kyron Pollard's retired as well. Andre Russell, who's a certainty, will not be captain. We don't know if Sunil Narayan's going to be in that side or no. He's just said there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, as if he said, I want to play, but he isn't. So they really have no choice but to go with Nicholas Pooran.
But they should, right? Because that's the problem with West Indies.
No, they should, but now they will. It's too close. It's too close. Even they can't change. They will.
Yeah, I guess they'll probably go for the World Cup, but if they need to sustain Parthiv, they need to have a captain and give him time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think captaincy is not something you're always born with. If you you always learn with the time, like what Rohit Sharma was in 2013-14, now is a completely different captain. What Virat Kohli was to start with in Test cricket, he is completely different, because it is not something that you learn by you obviously are going to make a lot of mistakes. As a captain, you are going to take few calls which might not fall in the right side of the boundary, but then that's how you learn. And Nicholas Pooran is someone who's been around, who's so you have to give time to captains. Captains are not someone who will just be clicking the same.
What's the issue though with West Indies cricket? I mean, we've spoken about it, and I'm sure our viewers would want to know.
The issue is that a lot of their players will turn up when there is a big tournament, but otherwise they'd much rather play franchise cricket than play for the West Indies, where they earn very little.
Yeah.
The West Indies cricket economy is not very powerful. So if you're playing for the West Indies, you've got a West Indies contract. then you don't get paid a lot of money. So they actually don't want a West Indies contract so that they can go and play elsewhere. I mean, someone like Andre Russell has to play every single T20 game that the West Indies play, right? But he's just not available because he's playing elsewhere. Aaron Pollard was playing elsewhere. Dwayne Bravo was playing elsewhere. They've had so many issues with the administration. They're now happy with the person that they've got there. So hopefully we'll see them at full strength a little more often. But the West Indies are aware that if you start forcing your key players to play every single T20, they won't have any players left.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm just thinking this is a bit of an outlandish thought, and I'm not being accusatory of any way. But you have these players; they are from different countries, right?
Yes.
I mean, Barbados is a different country, Trinidad and Tobago is a different country, and then you're playing for the West Indies. It's not the same pride as an Indian playing for India. It's like if you told an Indian player you have to play for SARC, right? Or you have to play for the... Do you know what I mean? What I'm trying to say?
It's just that the history has been so ingrained in playing for the West Indies. Then you have David Rudder singing, rally, rally around the West Indies. I mean, I'm not from the Caribbean, but every time I hear rally around the West Indies, I listen and say, wow, man, rally around the West Indies. So cricket is the only thing that brings the islands together, but there is fierce inter-island rivalry. For example, there was an accusation made against Aaron Pollard when he became captain of the West Indies that he was actually made captain of Trinidad to fill the side with Trinidad players. Which may or may not be true, I do not know. But there is that rivalry across the islands, no doubt at all.
Okay, so we've had the same problem in India with state sides, right? This state ka captain bana diya, to sirf is state ke player le rahe ho. So I guess that kind of regionalism happens everywhere, country or state.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think as we all said, they need someone who's driven to take West Indian cricket ahead. They need someone who can take pride in playing for West Indies, and you need that kind of mindset. You want the players who can do well for West Indies and not just players from their own region. That at the end of the day, they should be thinking that it doesn't matter from which country or which part of West Indies they are. The only thing they should be worried about or they should be thinking is we want West Indies cricket to be right up there again.
Yeah, great. I mean, it's a legacy, like you're saying, it's a legacy thing, right? I mean, when we were also growing up, you always heard stories about West Indies players. It was always this thing.
We've sat here and made a team of West Indies full of people who light up franchise tournaments around the world. And you say, how on earth do you beat this West Indies side? Because they've got so many stars. They're starting to dwindle a little bit with Narayan and Pollard and Bravo just moving on a little bit. But they never seem to turn up to play for the West Indies. I cannot imagine that the West Indies, I said this last game as well, that they're playing stage 1 of the T20 World Cup. They did last time as well. They had to qualify through stage 1 into the main draw. And West Indies shouldn't have to do that because they're just naturally made to play T20 cricket. I mean, first time I saw Evan Lewis, didn't know much about Evan Lewis. And you saw Evan Lewis come out to open the bat. You said, man, this guy was just born and told, thou shalt play T20 cricket.
See ball, hit ball. See ball, hit ball. They're missing some players. The reason why we talk about it is because West Indies has had such a rich legacy, rich history. And you want to see that team play because when the individuals come, they light up leagues all over the world and you want to see them come together. And at the end of the day, you want to see competitive games and that's what we want to see. We want to see all teams do well and then we want to see India do a little better. That's what we do. Got a few questions for you. We've got a game show happening today because, no reason, because Rahul said he wanted to do it. So we have, he's made a graphic. I don't know what it is.
He auditioned as an anchor for a game show.
He wants me to. Sir, I'm the only person in the world who's done game shows on Indian television. Only one who's done it. It's still not enough for
We talked about Asia Cup maybe being auditioned of Virat Kohli or game show.
Arey wah! Chalo, fir lao. What's the question? What's the question? Oh, there you go. It is. Who will be India's spin duo for the T20? Sorry.
Say it properly.
Who will be India's spin duo for the T20 World Cup? Ravindra Jadeja and Yuzi Chahal. Option B. Ashwin and Jadeja. Option C. Akshar and Jadeja. Option D. Others and Jadeja. Bataiye. Would you like to phone a friend?
Are you calling Chetan Sharma?
Yeah. Nicely done. Nicely done. Nicely done.
I am going D.
D. Others.
Lock किया जाए.
Okay, D. आपको फिर से option दिखा देते हैं.
I'm going with Jadeja and Yuzi Chahal.
Jadeja and Yuzi Chahal.
I'm very certain about it.
Achha, in the final 11, no?
Final 11,
actually,
yeah.
Jadeja.
So then are you saying others or no? You want to change?
Others actually मुझे लगा.
क्या आप अपना आंसर चेंज करना चाहेंगे?
कंप्यूटर जी ने तो लॉक कर दिया था.
लॉक कंप्यूटर अनलॉक कर दो. है चाबी है उसके पास. बताइए.
No, Jadeja Chahal.
Jadeja and Chahal? Okay. Computer जी, ऑप्शन लॉक करिए. कौन सा था? C कि B? क्या था?
A.
हाँ?
A.
A था.
इसीलिए आपको ऑडिशन करना पड़ रहा है.
हाँ सही बात है. पर वो हटा सर वहाँ मॉनिटर होता है सर, हाई बजट शो है वहाँ पे मॉनिटर शायद रहता है, इन्होंने हटा दिया क्योंकि अब क्या है वो या तो ग्राफिक दिखा सकते हैं मेरी शक्ल, क्या चूज करेंगे?
Graphics.
Hey. Okay, so the correct answer is. How do we know what the correct answer is?
No one knows.
Nobody can see the future.
Because we think so.
हाँ, because
समझ
we
क्या
think
क्या गेम शो बनाया ये? क्या है ये? फ्यूचर में जा क्या? और एक छोटे से ब्रेक के बाद हम आपको सही आंसर बताएंगे 3 महीने बाद. Looks most likely
Yes.
that it perhaps could be Jadeja and Chahal. Good combination. And again, it's about combinations. And it's about what Chahal has been doing. Actually, let's just talk about what Chahal has been doing.
And the conditions.
Yeah.
That the World Cup will be in Australia where you might not need 3 spinners. You don't need 3 spinners in playing 11.
If it was played in the West Indies, you would have said maybe they'll play a third spinner.
Third spinner.
Yeah.
With Hardik as the third seamer.
Yeah.
But he's just bowled so well.
I bowled so well, I guess. I mean, obviously, he didn't play the last World Cup, which was a shocker for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think more than anything
He must
else,
have been rested. He must have been rested.
he was rested for the World Cup. That's right.
You know,
Parthiv, I have not brought the word out for the first 30 minutes of the show, but I'll bring it out now. Naughty. Naughty.
It's an in word. You know, every time you job Indian cricket, you might have heard that process. Then tacky wicket. Now it is rested.
You know, for about 25 years of my career, no wickets were tacky.
Yeah.
And now every wicket is tacky, has got tennis ball bounce, and is toothpaste.
Yeah.
Spongy.
Spongy. Yes, spongy.
Okay, I've got a second question also.
Okay.
Ready? ये सवाल 1 करोड़. क्या 1 करोड़ वो बाद में बताऊंगा. Who is India's keeper alongside Rishabh Pant? Is it A. Ishan Kishan, B. Dinesh Karthik, C. KL Rahul, D. Sanju Samson?
गलत सवाल. क्योंकि बी भी हो सकता है, सी भी हो सकता है, बी और सी दोनों भी हो सकते हैं.
B और C भी हो सकते हैं. क्या पता कि क्वेश्चन ही ना हो.
क्या question ही ना हो? That's what I was going to
You're
say.
right.
हो सकता है क्योंकि
Very presumptuous question है ये थोड़ा.
मैं बी.
India's 2 keepers. इसमें नहीं बताया 2 keepers. इसमें भी होना चाहिए था 2 keepers.
keepers.
2 keepers बोले. Question जब्त किया जाए. बता दो. हाँ जी बताइए.
I think
2 keeper कौन?
I think Karthik has now done enough. So
Okay.
Karthik and Rahul.
Karthik and Rahul, yes.
Rahul will play, but he doesn't have to keep wickets. Rahul will play. I mean, even in this year's tournament, this year's IPL, he didn't keep.
Yeah.
So I think he's moved on. So I think the answer to that, strictly speaking, अगर आप बिल्कुल सही देखो, तो जवाब B. Dinesh Karthik.
Dinesh Karthik.
I hope B was Dinesh Karthik.
DK. Option D. DK.
I think Dinesh Karthik, as he said, has done enough to be second wicket keeper. I mean, a first batsman and a backup keeper if something happens to Rishabh Pant.
I think Ishan Kishan, maybe not. I think DK has done a little more than Ishan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Also, Ishan is competing in a different slot where there's a lot of people.
Correct. I guess
You know, we're not even talking about Hooda. He's also there's Hooda, there's Shreyas Iyer, there's Sanju Samson. There's so many people Ishan Kishan is competing with.
Yeah. It's true. चलिए तो अभी ये गेम यहाँ पे खत्म करते हैं क्योंकि इसके आंसर नहीं है ना.
That is only if India is going with 15 because that's another thing which we spoke about.
For the first time, India is going to have to select a team.
Yeah.
Because all along, you just picked
सब आ जाओ.
18, 20, 22.
That's right.
Yeah. So now you've got to select a team for the first time.
Wow, after 2 years. That's going to be strange, right? It's going to be
No,
strange.
they had to select a team for the last year's T20 World Cup and now this one.
Actually, that was also 15. You're right.
Yeah.
That was 15, right?
So you can carry 4 more with you
Yeah.
and they can be at the nets with you or whatever, I think.
Yeah.
But they cannot be in your team. You cannot pick them to play in the team unless they come in as a replacement.
Okay, excellent. Quickly, let's wrap things up. Joy factor question, and then I'll come to your score guesses. India batting first, of course. Let's get the joy factor question in. Here it is, the one he has sent. This has no options. In which international cricket tournament was Ame Khoresia India's top run scorer and Rahul Sangvi India's top wicket taker? If you know the answer, send it to us on Twitter. Hashtag Cricbuzz Live. Our score guesses. St. Kitts, India batting first. Who goes? Come on. सर आप ना सब देख रहे हो, मेरे को पता है आपको क्या पता है.
Pitch report.
You know what you know.
Pitch report.
But मैं उसके बारे में बोल ही नहीं रहा हूँ. I don't know the pitch. I'm going by what it has done in the past.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying 169.
169. Also, he knows that Rohit has got out first ball. That's why. So,
but I didn't, you know, otherwise
I thought I'll tell Parthiv ना
169.
level कर देते हैं ना सर playing field.
हाँ.
Level हो गया playing field.
I'm going 157.
157. This is because Rohit has got out first ball, right?
No,
You got
just,
it done.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Because
why I
of
told it to you because I wanted to go higher.
Yeah.
You see what I did here?
Yeah.
I tricked you.
I've got my. Gujarati.
You also got your earpiece.
I've got.
So everybody knows everything that's happening. I guess I am not the great puppeteer after all. All right, so I'm going to go with 182. That's my guess.
Okay.
So that means another finisher. Another finishing inning coming.
ऊपर जाने का ऊपर. चलो हम अभी जा रहे हैं बाहर because it is dinner time for us. Why we eating so late? It's very bad. Mom, relax. We are going to be awake till 3 o'clock.
And this wasn't a mid show. This was the first show.
This is the first show. Yeah. Abhi the party shuru hui hai. That's all we have for you in Cricbuzz Live. We're going to see you at the end of the 10th over with Cricbuzz Combox. Do join us, and a big thank you to Parthiv Patel and Harsha Bhogle. I'm Gaurav Kapur. See you in a bit. Goodbye.